Hi guys, welcome to another video. This week I'm going to talk to you a bit about how you can get over the fear of starting your own business. So I read somewhere that only 1 out of 10 people who want to start a business actually get enough courage to start and enough perseverance to continue. So let's think about that. Let's look into that. Most often you'll see that the fear of failure is actually what holds people back the most. I've struggled with that too, and I'm sure you can relate to that too in some way. So let's dive right in and have a look at how we can overcome that. When I first started my jewelry business, I had a long list of reasons why I shouldn't start, such as who am I, who's gonna find me, who's gonna like my jewelry, what about all the other competition out there, everyone's so much better than me, I'm a small little fish in a big sea. Websites, no idea how to do those. What if I need to create a logo? How am I going to do that? The list was endless. Trust me, it was comprehensive. And also personally, I come from a small little village in the middle of nowhere, and me even just being in London was already weird enough for me. So yeah, me thinking I'm this little village girl coming to London and I'm gonna make my millions. Obviously I had massive imposter syndrome. Trust me, I've been there. I've done it all. Yeah. So how can you overcome these negative thoughts and allow yourself to actually start? Well, first of all, stop being your own worst enemy. Stop putting up barriers and stop being negative towards yourself. That little voice that yappers on in your head, don't listen to it. It doesn't have your best interest at heart. When I finally made my website, I was so nervous about pressing live on my website. I had this crazy idea that when I pressed live, suddenly I was going to be inundated with orders and I wasn't going to be able to keep up because I had another teaching job still at the same time. And I thought, how am I going to manage? And so I freaked out, and obviously that kept me back and held me back from pressing live for weeks. I dragged it on for ages because I was scared. But in the end, I pressed live and surprise, lo and behold, nothing different happened. It was just another day. And yeah, looking back in retrospect, I can see how silly I was. But at the time, I built it up into this big, scary next step that I needed to take. And as you go along with your business, you're going to encounter lots of these different steps that may seem scary at the time. But trust me, it's just one more step along the way. And each one you'll deal with slowly as they come. And most of the time, probably none of them are as scary as your brain makes them out to be. So be brave and just do it one step at a time and you will be fine. You will be fine. Obviously, starting a business involves a whole lot of steps and advice and tips and all kinds of stuff. But for today, in this video, I'm just going to focus on my 2 main important things that really helped me in the beginning when I started. So the first one is to set yourself goals and to make sure that they're achievable. So you want to have short-term goals and you want to have long-term goals for your business. So I actually have a whiteboard in the bedroom that I use, and I write the list of things that I need to do for the day on that board. So the thing to keep in mind with this list is not to go and write a whole long list of all the things that have to be done, ever, because you're going to have a list of like 20 things at least for a day that you think, oh yeah, I really must do these things today. But in the end, you're not going to achieve those. So try and be realistic about those. Think about each task specifically and how long that task's going to take you, how many hours you have free in the day, and how long you have to do all of these things. So maybe in the end you only end up having 3 or 4 things on your list. Maybe if they're smaller tasks, maybe you've got 5 or 6. I don't know. It depends on what they are. Whether it takes you 2 minutes, maybe you have a long list of those. My point is, try and be conscious about that list so that at the end of the day, you can go along and with great joy, tick them off and get the satisfaction of having achieved your day's goals. So I do that every day, and then afterwards I rub them off and then I write out the next day's activities. This saves me time in the morning when I have to get up and I'm half awake and I still have to figure out what to do, and then it's just straight onto the list and I can check and work my way through and get a crack on with the day straight away, rather than spending an hour in the morning umming and ahhing and thinking about all the things I have to do. In the evening, I do that as a wrap-up for the day, and that really helps me focus. So some form of list, whether it's in a diary, whether it is on your phone, you do you, I do me, and personally I like it on the board because then I can see it. I used to do post-it notes, so on a little board that had a to do, in progress, and done, and then I'd move the post-it note across, and that really helped me. But now I quite like the whiteboard. But find a way that works for you to stay on track with your goals for your business. My point number 2 that I'm going to leave you with in this video is simple. Never give up. It sounds simple, but actually in reality, I know it's not. We all know it's not. And that can often be the hardest part. Because after all, that little voice inside your head wants you to fail because then it feels comfortable. And then it can say, see, I told you so. I knew you would fail. I told you you wouldn't be able to do it. Who were you thinking that you could do it? And then it goes, I feel smug. And it feels happy with itself. Whereas what you want to be doing is pushing that little voice out of your head and changing your whole perception of yourself. Because I don't know about you, but personally I struggle a lot with imposter syndrome, and I'm always thinking, oh my God, who am I? Who's going to listen to me? Who cares about my advice or anything like that? But in the end, people can take it or leave it if they want, and, just get on with life, and we need to just carry on and, keep on keeping on. So my point is that you need to not listen to that little voice, and you need to persevere and push yourself out of your comfort zone, because then you'll push that little voice out of its comfort zone, and it'll have to redefine its environment, and it's going to have to readjust and then change the perception of you. So then it might just go, oh, well, actually you have succeeded in that, and that means that I can't think that anymore. So then you're going to grow your self-esteem and you're going to feel a lot better about it. So don't listen to that little voice. Don't let it overcome you, and really just focus on working towards your goals and persevering and doing what you're passionate about. Because if this business is something you're passionate about, then it's obviously something worthwhile and it's something that's going to bring you joy. Yes, it's going to be hard along the way, but don't give up. Don't give up hope on your dreams. And trust me when I talk about getting out of your comfort zones. I have just quit my teaching job. There's another whole story about that in another video. But that's terrifying. I'm moving to a new country. I'm moving to Belgium. I don't speak French. I'm learning, but that's even another whole thing that I have to overcome and get used to. And I'm going to start focusing on my jewelry business full time because it's something that I've dreamt about for a really long time. And I feel like now is the time. I know it's crazy timing, but somehow it just feels right. And I'm going to do it. And I am myself. But you know what? If not now, then when? So my advice to you is, if you're passionate about it, just do it. Don't give up. Stay positive. And find some people in your environment, in your friend circle that support you, or even externally find someone you can talk to who understands you. And trust me, that really actually helps. Like when I was younger, my first business, I had a really, really good friend who was actually, funnily enough, doing jewelry, and I was doing a recycled clothing business back in South Africa. And we used to talk about everything all the time. So even though we were doing our own businesses, we were at the same stage, and it really, really helped having that person that you could relate to, who knew where you were coming from, and you could do things together, so it wasn't as scary. So have a look around you, see if there's any friends or relatives who have started their own business, who've created something, even if it's in a completely different niche, that actually doesn't matter. But just see if you can find someone who can act as a mentor for you. So someone who can coach you through and hold your hand while you take on the next step. Because I know it's scary, and it really does help having someone who can support you through that. If you want to contact me, by all means, you're more than welcome to. Drop me a comment down below, and I would happily have a chat with you and see how I can help you with where you're at now in your business. But yeah, basically, you got this. Go on, you can do it. I believe in you. So now that you listened to my pep talk, I would be really interested to hear what is holding you back in your business or your start of your business. So drop a comment down below, and I'd be really interested to have a little chat with you and see where you're at and see if I can help you with anything. So yeah, till next week, I'll see you guys Sunday. Even talking to you now, camera, make me scared. I'm scared of failing. As a broad concept. Right, it's simple.